It is said that Vileplume has the world's largest petals, and they are used to attract prey that are then doused with toxic pollen, causing paralysis. Once its prey is immobilized, Vileplume catches it and then devours them. In season, when it produces more pollen, the air around Vileplume can even turn yellow as it walks. The larger its petals, the more toxic pollen it contains, however its big head is heavy and hard to hold up. Vileplume's toxic pollens triggers atrocious allergy attacks and is advisable to never approach it in a jungle, however pretty it may be. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a quick look at my LEGO Vileplume MOC, and if you've been following me on this channel on Instagram, then you may remember that I first posted this MOC some time ago, so it's not a new build. I actually just recently updated the design so that it was a bit more accurate, and that's kind of what sparked the motivation to do this video. I'll get into more detail with the updates I've made to the MOC in this video, but for those of you wondering, I've also updated the parts file and PDF instructions, which are now available on my store, and the proceeds just help to support this channel and for future MOCs and builds. The overall body is pretty simple and mainly uses the dark blue color except for its large petals, which are primarily done in red with some white spots dotted throughout. The main body itself is built around a number of snot bricks covered with slopes, curved slopes, and tiles all around. And I used different tiles to try and capture its face, which may look a bit cartoonish since the mouth isn't an exact match in this case. I tried to see if the black sausage or hot dog piece would be a better fit, but it just looked too awkward. So I used this 1x1 half round top piece in black instead, which I think was a close compromise since it makes it look pretty happy and cutesy as well. The arms and legs are all posable and have some articulation. The legs are built in two small sections, and you can actually splay the entire leg out pretty wide, but you can't really rotate it forward and back. You can, however, rotate the foot forward and back, as well as rotate it side to side with a pretty wide range of motion. The arms are a bit more restrictive, but you can still bend them up and down, as well as forward and back. And they're just connected using a Exoforce hand in black onto a modified 1x1 bar plate piece in dark blue. And since all the limbs are pretty plain and sufficient design, I just cover them off with cheese slopes and tiles, since they don't have any unique details or shaping to them. Taking a closer look at its petals, which is probably its most iconic feature, one of the main changes I made to the design was having the petal subassembly be basically fixed to the body, whereas it was posable in the original design before. This was mainly because when I saw other models after I built this MOC, I noticed that the petals sit right on top of the head and don't really have that much articulation to them. So since I thought they were posable before, I left a gap in between so you could change the angle of the petal subassembly, but the gap looked a bit too awkward when viewed from lower angles or from the back here. Also, I figured since you don't really gain that much more display value in having this component be posable, I decided to remove that gap and have it sit right on top of the head, which I think makes it look better from all angles now. The weight of the petals also make it lean forward naturally, which I think better resembles its official design and calls back to its Pokédex entry. I also swapped out some of the parts in the subassembly to cut down on the overall part count and to strengthen a few of the connections. But for those of you who purchased the instructions for this previously, the part swaps are not critical, and in order to lower the petal subassembly, you only need to remove 2 of the 1x2 stack plates underneath the ball joint connection at the center. So you don't necessarily need to add any additional parts, and both the revised and original designs are strong enough to hold up the petals. If you notice, each of the petals are the exact same build with the exact same placement or pattern for its white spots. Looking closer, I use 1x1 studs for the portions closer to the center pistil, and as you move away to the edges, they change to 1x1 round tiles, and that's just to add some variability and different textures for the petals. The petals are also just 1 brick in thickness, which I think is proportioned well compared to its official design and to the overall body size. The design of the center pistil is suggested here with a 2x2 round plate in dark orange, stuck on top of a 4x4 round plate in orange, and all connected with a black Technic axle, and they all just help to cover up the internal structure underneath. Finally, for those of you wondering, this is how it looks scaled up to a random minifigure. And the total part count for this MOC is 314 pieces. At the time of recording this video, it can cost around $20 to $25 Canadian, but please keep in mind this does not include shipping or handling, and your final cost may vary. For those of you who stayed this long, I've included a link in the description below to both the parts file and PDF instructions if you're interested in building this yourself. that's pretty much it. Comment down below what you guys think about this MOC, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Thanks for watching.